What is your biggest cyber worry right now? Yep, safety, access to data. There's actually quite a lot of common themes in that. Obviously, lockdown hacked is probably one of the big ones. We'll actually cover a lot of these areas in the next sort of tutorial or so. So, in terms of understanding the cyber risk landscape and where we are today, the thing is that it is evolving, and it can be actually quite scary. The Australian Cybersecurity Centre actually has data that every 6 minutes cybercrime is reported in Australia. So on the 20 or so minutes that I'm up here, there's probably 4 or 5 business owners just like yourselves that unfortunately will report a breach or a cyber incident, and they're the ones that actually get reported. On average, for an SME-sized business, the financial losses range from about 60,000 to 100,000, and that's just in the financial loss. There's a lot of other aspects of the loss, whether it be loss of contracts in the future, loss of clients, reputational damage. A lot of those things are more than just financial. They really add up and make it be quite expensive. The harsh truth is, for an SME, 60% of businesses that suffer a cyber attack, unfortunately within 6 months, are out of business, which is a scary stat to think about. So what are some of the threats that we're seeing? And obviously there is some data there to review as well. The main one that we're seeing at the moment, phishing and email compromise. When you think about it, one wrong click, some invoices can get diverted, and before you know it, hundreds of thousands can be lost. Ransomware, we've obviously touched on that before, systems getting locked, data encryption, and then in front of you can get multiple Bitcoin ransom requests. Third-party provider risks, so whether it be MSPs, cloud providers, or anything like that, if they get compromised, guess what? It becomes your compromise as well. So it's quite important. And probably the biggest one, and the most obvious one, is human error. We're not robots. We get things wrong all the time, and that definitely affects things like the cyber risk landscape as well. There's a real case study example that I'm aware of that happened actually in Sydney, of a Sydney accounting firm that had about 20 staff roughly. Their emails were compromised. The hackers got in for a number of weeks and actually started sending out fake invoices to their clients, which I'm sure we've all received over time. And unfortunately, 120,000 of those fake invoices were paid before people realised that they were fake and the money was gone. So that accounting firm obviously reclaimed their clients, but as part of that, down the track, they lost a number of key clients. And unfortunately, they didn't recover, but they did not have cyber. Hands up, who's recently received either a dodgy email or a dodgy invoice? I'd say multiple people in the room. And unfortunately, with AI, it's getting even better. Like the dodgy emails used to be dodgy, and now it's sort of questionable what's real and what's dodgy. So from a technology piece, a lot of business owners actually come to me and staff and say, oh, don't worry, we've got this covered. We've got antivirus, we've got an IT guy, we've got an IT team. Don't worry, we've got backups on there in the cloud. And everyone just thinks that's perfect. And to be honest, those measures are great, and we'll touch on some of that sort of later on. But when you think about it, there is no system that's bulletproof. And that's the fact. If the FBI can still be attacked and hacked, then so can your business, fortunately. That's sad true. So when you think about it, even from a home aspect, you probably lock your front door, you have security cameras, maybe you have alarms. You might be like me that has this whole dog that yaps at everything that walks past the front gate. But we still buy home and contents insurance because we know a thief, if they want to get in, they still will, and they still will steal something. If you think it like that, with cyber, unfortunately, not every business buys cyber, despite the risks. And the thing compared to cyber to sort of home insurance is that cyber insurance is silent. With home and contents insurance, or if theft happened, you see a broken door, you see glass, you see upturned books, or whatever it might be. Cyber is completely silent often. So it's definitely far more challenging. Another example, which I can share, I can't tell you too many details of, the Perth engineering firm with about 30 or so staff. They thought they were completely safe because they had all their backups. They did daily backups and they thought it was completely safe, so they thought they were smooth sailing. Unfortunately, they got hit with a ransomware about 3 weeks before. The attackers had actually been in and gone into the systems and encrypted all of their backups. So when they had to make the pay and when they tried to start negotiating, then they go, don't worry, we'll go back to our backups. The last 3 weeks were well behind. That really left them in the dark for 3 weeks. So think of your own business. If you're in that position for 3 weeks without any information, what would you do? It would have a lasting effect on them with your businesses. But I don't know. The key point here is that technology, it reduces the risk, but it definitely doesn't eliminate the risk. Even if you've got some of the best IT providers, and I know there's some here today, they can't promise 100% protections. And they'll be obvious in things like that, to be honest. All attackers have to do is get lucky once. And once they're in, who knows what they're going to do. And unfortunately, the fallout isn't just technical, it's financial, it's legal, and it's from a regulatory perspective as well. So yes, keep investing in technology. It's critical and it's actually essential. But don't fall into the trap to think that IT means you're eliminating all risk and provides immunity. The purpose of cyber insurance is not to replace technology, is to actually complement it, which is quite important.